Welcome to the virtual McLean Pet Fest. I'm your host, Brian Ashby, and this is the first time this event is being held virtually for the safety of our patrons and exhibitors who would normally be attending in person. So sit back, grab your popcorn, and of course pet treats for your furry companions, because we have put together a fun, fetching event perfect for local pet owners. Now coming up, meet exhibitors that specialize in tasty treats, pet portraits, and more for your pet's well-being. See national stunt dog champion and celebrity dog trainer Chrissy Joy with some of her stunt dogs in action. And how do you feel about a petting zoo in your living room? Well, Squeals on Wheels is here, and they have some fun and interesting animals to share with you. Now, you want to teach your dog a few commands? Get basic training tips from veteran dog trainer Kevin Healy. Veterinarian Danielle Shearer is with us, and she has good information for pet parents. Now, if you're still interested in adopting, we'll tell you how you can still adopt a new pet virtually. And don't miss our special pet parade, because we have clips and pictures you've sent us, and we're anxious to show off your pet companions. See these stories and more coming up on the McLean Virtual Pet Fest. Hey, as you can see, I'm not very good at tricks, but in our next story, you'll see champion and celebrity dog trainer Chrissy Joy do some amazing things with her stunt dogs. Chrissy Joy travels nationwide teaching workshops and offering demonstrations to inspire other dog owners and trainers to get involved working with their own dogs on set. Many participants have appeared on film, in commercials, TV shows, and print. So I won't make you wait any longer. You think she could help me?
Hi, I'm Chrissy Joy, and we're here today with BFF Pet Services. I am a professional dog trainer here, also the 2018 National Stunt Dog Champion, ranked second in the nation for dog trainers, and also I have two young dogs that are one of the youngest dogs ever champion trick dog titled. One was 12 weeks, and the other one was only 9 weeks old. So very, very cool. But here at BFF, we are down in Brandywine, Maryland, and we have so much to offer dog lovers and pet lovers. We do obedience, we do sports, we do trick classes, we also do workshops and demonstrations. We're here today actually to show off a really cool group within BFF called the Bonafide Talent Group. And this talent group is where we provide dogs to commercials, film, television, through talent agencies. So an agency will seek a dog, and because of our skill levels here and our myriad of dogs, we're able to provide those agencies with dogs for work. But we also today are really excited for Pet Fest because we have the capability to show you guys tricks today, some stunts, and we're also going to do a lot of Frisbee, and our dogs are really into Frisbee. And we have some really cool props for our tricks today, so I think you guys will really enjoy it.
Didn't I tell you? Pretty amazing. To learn more about Chrissy Joy, visit her website or log on to McLeancenter.org. Now next, meet some of our participating vendors at this year's McLean Virtual Pet Fest.
EJ's Meats and Treats is an all-natural pet treat company in Fairfax, Virginia. We use U.S. family farms to source all of our meats and produce. We specialize in jerky treats, both smoked and dehydrated. We have treats for cats, we have treats for dogs, we have chews for dogs, we have antlers, and we have a CBD line. If you know anything about CBD, those same benefits that benefit the human also benefit your cat and your dog. Come check us out at www.ejsmeatsandtreats.com, or you can give us a call or an email and follow us on social media. We are here to help, and we are here to give you treats that are good for your pet and treats that are good for your conscience.
Hi, I'm your host, Brian Ashby, and we are back to delight you with more of this year's virtual McLean Pet Fest. Now, if you watched Chrissy Joy with her amazing stunt dogs and you were thinking, my dog could never do that, don't despair. Veteran trainer Kevin Healy has a lot of experience, and he believes every dog can learn a few basic commands.
Jumping is one of the probably top 5 that I get in my civilian dog obedience classes. Many dogs do it. I tell my students that it's more like an event. It doesn't happen all the time. It's usually when you come home or you let them out of the crate or company comes. I call that an event. They want contact. And to them, this is us. So that's why they're always jumping up. I always kid, if you could take your head off and put it on the ground, they'd never jump again. Their theory is jump up, I get contact. You want to change that to I sit during this event and I get the contact. So we teach a dog to sit. I'll approach, they won't get any contact if they're jumping up. I walk away, the handler gets them in a sit, I turn quickly and they're rewarded, usually with food reward, and they get contact. Right, and you want to slacken the leash. There you go. Right, remember loose is good, tight is bad. First thing you want to do is pick a side that your dog's going to walk on. Besides jumping up, one of the largest problems is the dog pulling on the leash. And if the dog could speak right now, they are convinced that are pulling that they have to bear a tight leash to continue walking because we always go with them. So what we do, we want to reverse that theory. And if they could speak, they'd say loose. Every time the leash is loose, we're going to continue where we were heading. So we stop, we break that cycle of pulling rather than jerking back or just letting them drag us and they're choking. We change directions. We use food rewards to bring their attention into us as opposed to where they're going. And we try to break that cycle, and the dogs walk with a loose leash once they settle down. We do all the basic commands of heel, which is walking without pulling. I tell all the students they have to pick a side for the dog. You can't keep switching sides because you have to have consistency. It's confusing to the dogs, just like we have consistency in our homes and consistency at work. So you have to have consistency, so you pick a side that they're going to walk on. I teach them heel, sit, down, stay, and what's called a recall, the come command. And then I also do what a lot of places don't do. I do what's called situational training. First half is all obedience. Second half is taking what we learn in that obedience and putting it to tasks that you do every day, whether it's walking through doors, up and down steps, approaching other people and dogs. I teach go to your place, means if you have company, you want the dog to bother you, send them to a spot, they lay down on their own and stay there. And we do leave it command, which is not a come command or a recall, but it's a get away from that. And so we do multiple situational things as well as general obedience. You reel it hand over hand like you're climbing a rope. As soon as they get here, you stop and reward. Okay, why are we retreating? 2 reasons. 1, you've never corrected your dog when you backed away, ever, so they know they're not in trouble. Number 2, they have prey drive, it's chase drive. So you want to bring that out of them, where they're chasing you because you're leaving. Back up, make them run, make them run. Now, reel them in and praise. Boom. Good job, that's better. That one was better. But all dogs are trainable to some degree if you put the time in.
Kevin's very good at his job, right? For more information, visit his DogSolve website or log on to McLeancenter.org. Now, when was the last time you saw an alpaca? How about a miniature pig with stripes? No? Well, Jill and John Phillips believe children and parents of all ages should be educated about the wonderful and fascinating world of all pets. And today, they've brought their not-so-common petting zoo to your living rooms. Jill, John, you there?
So normally if this was a petting zoo set at somebody's home during the time of COVID-19 pandemic, I would be wearing a mask, the staff would be masked. We would have established communication between ourselves and the clients that we're going to keep 6 feet distance, that we will all have masks, that the fencing and equipment will be sanitized, that the mats, everything will be sanitized before they arrive. And the staff is asked the Center for Disease Control screening questions before they come here, such as, do you have this and that symptom? Do you live with anybody that had COVID? Have you been around somebody that's had COVID? So they're asked those questions right out of the CDC, and then also their temperature is taken. So we do everything we can to ensure the kids are able to reach out and be with these animals and yet keep everybody safe. So these are our special little angels, and this is Captain Jack Sparrow. And he's 16 years old. He's one of our oldest petting zoo animals. And this is Blue, and he is 8 years old. And they are miniature horses that inherited the dwarf gene. Just to show you the difference, now this is a dog and these are horses. It's okay. Oh, we have 2 of our beautiful alpacas. Okay. They're from South America. They're very sweet. They're very curious animals. We just love them. Okay, we're going to come in here. Come on, babies. Thank you. One at a time. I got fresh water here. It's okay. Come on. Yeah. This is the most amazing little Millie, the tiny chicken. She is a mille fleur, which in French means 1,000 flowers. And if you look closely at her beautiful feathers, each of these is in the shape of a feather. And she's so soft. Not as soft as the chinchilla that's coming up, but she's so soft. And again, it's another small for breed animal that the kids can love on and yet not be intimidated. It's like 1,000 little flowers on her feathers. She's so cute. So these are called miniature call ducks. The males are fairly quiet. The females, though, are the ones who call. They're called call ducks because they were raised to make noise, and they can, call in other ducks, I assume for hunting. So they're unusual. You don't see a lot of small breeds of ducks. They're very sweet. They're one of the feathered friends that can be imprinted. Now, imprinted means, who wants to come with me? Can you? Yeah, it's okay. Now, this one is not imprinted, but still pretty friendly. And imprinted means when they're babies, if they stay with a human almost around the clock, or at least during daytime and evening time, if they stay with that human and see their face, and they also know their sounds, they will imprint on that particular human. And they will follow you around like you're the mother. So you can have, that was what Mother Goose did. I think Mother Goose must have imprinted everybody and they followed her everywhere. You can do the same with geese and ducks. It's really amazing. They come in all different sorts of colors, but you don't see them very often. Yeah. So again, another miniature breed that's good for children to have their first interaction with. So this is little Chip, and Chip is a miniature pig. Some people refer to them as teacups, but that name is a misnomer because they don't stay at teacup size. They can actually fit into a teacup when they're first born, but that's about all there is to that teacup name. So they are miniature pigs, and they get to be about 12 to 14 inches tall at the shoulders when they are full grown. They are amazingly intelligent. They are right behind people and the primate family, and also dolphins. So they are quick to learn. They're very quick learners. He's a little nervous. I mean, he's just a baby. He's only 2 months old. He's very unusual because he was born with stripes. And he's got like the cutest face ever, don't you? Yeah, he's a cutie. This is Steve, and Steve is a bearded dragon. They are from Australia. They are a very sweet pet. They're very docile. They're almost the really good first pet for some of the older kids. They're unusual in one way in that they have a third eye, so to speak. So right here between the eyes, right here, is what they call the parietal area or the solar area. And this eye, so to speak, is very sensitive to light and shadow. Now, obviously, there are aerial predators in their native country of Australia. So if a large predator bird flies over them and they know that there's a shadow approaching, they will run, and they can run fairly quickly. They have the name bearded dragon because if they're frightened or excited, but especially frightened, so if there was another male placed in front of him, he would try and show that he was the king bearded dragon by throwing out his neck, his beard, and those little spikes that he had would be poking out, and also his beard would get very black. Chinchillas are from South America. The most amazing thing about them is the softness of their fur. So when you touch a chinchilla, honestly, it's what I've always envisioned as putting your hand inside a cloud. Now we have maybe 1 to 2 hairs on our scalp in a little follicle, 1 to 2 hairs. They have 80 to 100. Now you can imagine the softness and the plushness of these animals. They're fast. So there's something that we kind of hold on to at petting zoo events because they love to jump. They can jump 6 feet, and we wouldn't want them jumping 6 feet. So we hold on to them like this. We turn the chinchillas this way so that the children can sink their hand into the plushness of their beautiful coat. They're very sweet. As you can see, he's not aggressive. I can get very close to him and he's going to be very chill with it. Most of our animals are raised from either birth or a very young age so that they are used to people and very safe with children and adults. He's getting a little jumpy, but he's seeing all sorts of things he can grab onto and eat out here. Yeah, are you okay? Everything is okay.
Thanks, Jill and John. If you want to learn more about less common pets, exotic animals, and squeals on wheels, visit the web address now on your screen or go to McLeancenter.org. Now don't go away because we have more virtual McLean Pet Fest exhibitors coming up next.
Hi, I'm Annie Ballantyne. I'm a certified professional photographer and owner at Artful Paws Photography. I specialize in fine art portraits of pets and their people, and I love what I do. I fell in love with photography back in high school, and I learned that I had an eye for capturing moments that really move people. I decided to focus my photography business on pets because my pets are part of my family and I know my clients feel the same way. I wanted to give them the ability to capture truly precious moments, things that they could really keep forever. A lot of people think that their dogs have to be perfectly well behaved in order to be photographed, but that's really not the case. I photograph most dogs on leash, and I just take the leashes out in post-production. I give my clients the option of being photographed either in the studio or outdoors. In my yard, I have beautiful tall grasses and trees and a stream, as well as some more landscaped areas. But if my clients prefer to be photographed in their own homes or a favorite park, I can go on location as well. My main goal with every session is to capture an animal's personality. So I take the time to get to know an animal and to help them feel comfortable with me and my camera. I have a very calm demeanor and animals seem to take to me. I think they can sense that I love them. One thing that sets me apart from other photographers is that I help my clients through every step of the process. It starts with a pre-session consultation where I help them make clothing choices and plan their session, and goes all the way through the ordering session when I help them choose the products and finishes that'll work best in their homes. My clients go home with finished artwork that's ready to be displayed and enjoyed for years to come.
Sit Means Sit of Northern Virginia is part of the largest dog training franchise in the United States. We service all of Northern Virginia. We offer everything from puppy classes, basic obedience, off-leash control, therapy dogs, canine good citizen certifications, board and trains.
When you contact Sit Means Sit, we'll start with a free in-home evaluation because we want to determine what's going on with your dog. If it's just basic obedience to puppy training to a serious behavior modification, we'll customize the package just for you.
I mean, if it wasn't for Tiki and if it wasn't for Sit Means Sit, I don't think I'd be doing a lot of things I'm doing today.
Zach's on the autism spectrum, and so he needed the companion dog. He was to the point where he was not able to go out in public very often. Crowds, noise bothered him. So we needed the companion to be able to go out so he can do activities and be a kid.
And we found out about it because we needed one that would allow me to be the handler.
We did the in-home lessons because she's a service dog. We couldn't separate them. So once we got her, we decided we needed the help because we wanted him to be the handler. You know, doctor's appointments. We went to the mall, and even though it was loud and crowded, he uses Tiki as a focal point when he needs to. But we're able to go anywhere, do anything.
I actually started out with Sit, Mean, Sit as a client, not a trainer. I met Sunny at my church, and we got talking about dogs, and I love dogs my whole life. And she was telling me how great she could do with other dogs and how good she can train them and stuff. And I have my Beagle mix at home that wanted to kill mailmen. So I looked at her and I said, well, if you can train him, I'll believe you. So she came over one day and she got to see him in all his glory, and she then worked with him for a few minutes, and mailman came back her through, and he sat there. He didn't want to, but he did. And I looked at her and said, okay, that's it. I'm working with you now. I'm ready to train with you. So we trained for a little while, and then one day she asked me if I wanted to be a trainer, and I was on top of that immediately because I've trained a lot of different ways with I have a 12-year-old Shepherd at home. And I've trained every different technique with her to get her trained, and it works, but only 2 so far. And this technique just got her all the way. And I was like, okay, that's it, I'm done. I know the best of the best now. I've tried it all, and this works.
Danielle Shearer is the veterinarian for small and exotic pets at Pender Veterinary Hospital. And we asked her for a few questions that pet patients have asked over the last few months that she thought would be beneficial to a wide audience of pet owners. And this is what she had to share.
Yeah, so leaving your pet for short periods of time and allowing them to know that you're coming back. So you going and running an errand, or you going for a walk without them for, 15 minutes to an hour or so, and then not making a big production when you're leaving or when you're coming back. So just giving them like a quick little pat on the head, but not making this huge drama over you leaving will make them realize that you are coming back and it's not a big deal that you're leaving. Yeah, they do. They don't necessarily always show signs of pain, but they'll kind of slow down a little bit. So having a harder time getting up from when they're laying down, maybe taking the stairs a little bit slower, just basically slowing down in general. It's really not. The problem is Tylenol can be filtered through the liver. And if you do have an older pet or a pet that's liver compromised, you could be doing more damage, especially if you don't know the right dose or the right milligrams that you're giving them. Anemia basically means that they don't have enough red blood cells circulating throughout their body. And there's a number of reasons that anemia can occur. So the reason that your vet's probably wanting to do more tests is figuring out that exact reason that your cat has this anemia. Rats are actually really great pets. They're really friendly. I think they're great for kids and adults alike. So yeah, there's not really a ton of diseases that can be transferred between us and rats. So I do think that they're great, especially for kids. I absolutely recommend it. Not all pets need it regularly, but it can lead to a wide variety of other issues if your pet does have a lot of that plaque buildup on there. The plaque is essentially bacteria, and that bacteria can break off and basically travel through their bloodstream. the number one issue being heart disease. So I absolutely recommend not even necessarily older pets, but all pets that have a lot of plaque getting that dental cleaning. Absolutely, we can transfer it back and forth to each other. They can transfer it to us, we can transfer it to them. So if you have any suspicion that your pet has ringworm or your child has ringworm, definitely limit contact and wash your hands in between contact. It sounds like it's a submissive urination. So basically the pet's it's either really nervous or really excited when it sees other people. So you really just have to not get that person to get super excited or you to get super excited when you see the dog. So, being like, oh, Fluffy, you're so cute, and getting down on their level and getting the pet riled up is gonna make them do that essentially. So just calm voices, really. No, I wouldn't say that there's an age limit. I think you really need to teach your child the proper environment for a reptile. The biggest thing that makes them thrive is the correct temperatures, the correct environment, the correct food. And I think teaching your child what to look for and how to monitor their environment is gonna help that animal thrive. I personally would not. Hedgehogs are nocturnal. So they will definitely keep you up at night with them roaming around and playing. And they're not typical pets that you can handle unless you really know how to handle them properly. They're not ones that you can cuddle or kind of snuggle with. So I probably would stick to something more snuggly or more handable for a 5-year-old.
Thank you, Dr. Shearer. As always, really good advice. Now, if you own a pet, regular visits to your veterinarian are important. Just like you visit the doctor to maintain good health, your pet at every stage of development should be seen by a vet for exams and annual vaccines. Now, if you don't have a pet and you're thinking about getting a pet companion or adding to your pet family, you can still adopt. Come with us to the West Ox Animal Shelter and learn how.
At this time, we're not having walk-in visitors. We are occasionally scheduling for certain pets. If people are interested in viewing the animals that we have available for adoption, their best bet is to look at our website, which is updated regularly, and they can view those animals who are available 24 hours a day. On there, you'll find pictures of the animals, you'll find bios, meaning their biography that we write up about them, everything that we know about them, their behavior, likes, dislikes, things like that. When possible, we also include videos of the animals who are available. If someone is interested in a particular animal, then they would want to fill out a questionnaire that is available online. They would fill that out and then they would send that in to us via email. At that point, we'll have one of our adoption counselors who will take over the process, and it's going to be all virtual, so meaning via email, over the telephone, and occasionally we'll do Zoom calls as well. If someone is interested in a particular pet, but it is already adopted or it's in the queue or being held for someone else who is interested in adopting who has already contacted us, then so we would just have them revisit the website, keep an eye on it. We have animals being made available for adoption every day. Of course, we always have dogs, we always have cats. What people don't always realize is that we have a fair amount of small mammals here too available for adoption. So that would include guinea pigs, rabbits. We also have parakeets, sometimes reptiles and amphibians as well. If anyone wants more information about the adoption process, particularly now during the pandemic, they can find that information online on our website.
To adopt a new four-legged companion, be sure to visit the animal shelter's website for more information. Now, are you ready for a pet parade? I know I am. Let's see the real star of today's program, your pets.
What are you doing on the kitchen table? You know you're not supposed to be there.
High five. Lay down. It's bacon. Lay down. Tassa of King Tassa. You want your dinner? Okay. Sit. Shake.
Thank you to everyone who submitted pictures and clips of their family pet. Now stay with us because coming up, you're going to meet more of our participating exhibitors. And if you've ever wanted a pet rabbit, our resident rabbit expert tells us all you need to know about having a bunny as a pet companion.
My name is B.J. Opfer, and I'm a watercolor artist specializing in pet portraits on commission. While I am talking with you, I'm going to be showing you examples of limited edition prints from original watercolor portraits of people's pets that I have done on commission. My portfolio of pet portraits includes dogs, cats, exotic birds, horses, and in one case, a Black Angus cow. I ask owners to submit 3 or 4 photos of their pets and identify their favorite one. I then do a sketch for their review and approval, and we go from there. The sketch is subsequently transferred to watercolor paper. I use Grumbacher watercolor paints and Arches 140-pound cold-pressed watercolor paper. I do my own matting and framing using acid-free materials. Most of my portraits are vignettes which emphasize the subject and limit the background. My objective is to make my paintings realistic but not photographic. I have limited edition prints of purebred and mixed breed dogs and cats available for sale. I will also be taking orders for original watercolor portraits of your pet on commission. It can be reached by email at opferbirdsandpets with the "and" spelled out at gmail.com or by telephone at 703-691-1099.
Hi, I'm Veronica with NatCap Lyme. We're an all-volunteer nonprofit dedicated to improving the lives of those suffering from Lyme and other tick-borne diseases, including your pets. Founded in 2001, we offer education through legislation, public outreach, support groups, and much more. Did you know that animals, particularly dogs, are 50 to 100 times more likely to encounter disease-carrying ticks than humans? Tick-borne diseases in animals can cause symptoms from loss of appetite, painful joints, fever, lameness, paralysis, and even death. So it's just as important to protect your pets as it is yourself. So, what are the best ways to protect your pet? Well, first, you can use a flea and tick medication. Also, anytime your pet has been outdoors, use a fine-tooth comb to brush your pet. Be sure to examine between your pet's toes, behind their ears, under their armpits, and around their tail and head, as these are common spots for ticks to lurk. If your pet has short hair, consider trying a lint roller on their fur to catch any wandering ticks. Avoid walking your pets through the woods or tall grasses, and keep your own grass short to minimize ticks. How do you remove a tick if you find one attached to your pet? Well, part your pet's hair around the tick with your fingers. Place tweezers, such as these, around the tick as close to the head as possible. Don't twist or jerk the tick. Pull upwards gently. Finally, disinfect the tick bite area and consider saving the tick in a Ziploc bag to be tested. Testing the tick can provide clues to you and your vet about the diseases your pet may have contracted. We love our furry friends at NatCap Lyme as much as you do, so keeping them safe is part of our mission. For more information on Lyme disease and how to protect your pet, please visit natcaplyme.org. Thank you.
When considering a new pet, most people think of dogs or cats. But did you know that many shelters have other small animals available for adoption? Of all the small pets found at a shelter, you're most likely to see more rabbits than any other species. If you've considered a rabbit but don't know much about them, our resident bunny expert, Sam Tungle, is here to explain everything you've ever wanted to know about rabbits as pets.
Did you know rabbits are the third most popular pet after cats and dogs? If you see a rabbit in your future, there are a few things you need to know. First, there are many different breeds of rabbits. They come in different colors, sizes, and weigh anywhere between 2 and 20 pounds. And, just like other pets, their personalities vary too.
I think rabbits make excellent pets. Some are really shy and it takes them a while to come out of their shells. Some of them have very big personalities and they want to just take over your entire house. It really depends, but every single one is an individual and I think that they're amazing.
If this is your first time owning a rabbit, you want to be sure and have everything you need before you bring your bunny home.
So I think that rabbits are a bit like children and you should probably prepare for them before you bring them into your house. They have a lot of accessories.
Decide where your rabbit will live. Most experts advocate that your rabbit live inside your home. This provides much-needed social interaction along with protection from predators and severe weather. You can use a puppy pen to block off a corner of a living room or family room, giving your rabbit ample space to hop around. A puppy pen can be easily adjusted if you want to gradually increase the area to eventually give your rabbit free rein in a bunny-proof room. Other supplies should include a litter box.
So this is just a very small litter tray that I brought as an example. There are a variety of litter trays. I actually think the bigger the litter tray, the better, but this is great for starting if you have a baby rabbit. You can actually litter train rabbits, which is super handy. And I like to line this with paper bedding, and the rabbit will tell you where it wants to use the litter box. So wherever they're, choosing to go, that's where you put the litter box, and before you know it, they're using their litter box.
Make sure you line the litter box with unscented paper bedding. Since rabbits most likely will chew on anything you put in their litter box, avoid wood chips or pine. Make sure your rabbit has access to plenty of water. Since rabbits will sometimes kick over their water bowls, many owners use a water bottle they can attach to the side of a pen. Hay is very important to rabbits. It helps clean their digestive system as well as provide them with something suitable to chew on.
Rabbits always need access to clean, fresh hay. This helps with their teeth and their digestive system and keeping their GI tract healthy. But this would be a #1 must-have, and this has to be made available to rabbits all the time.
Include fresh veggies and pellets high in fiber. The bulk of veggies should be leafy greens and not carrots. And don't forget toys. Rabbits love toys, and they don't have to be expensive store-bought toys either.
Here we have just a standard toilet paper roll stuffed with their Timothy hay, and they will play with this just like any other expensive toy that you get from, a fancy pet store.
Are rabbits good with children? Well, that depends on the child and the parent.
Families who have kids who know how to properly interact with rabbits, it's great. They do bite, so that is another thing to keep in mind. And they have sharp little nails as well. So supervised, really any age depending on the child and the parent. But if you want to just kind of let your child have a pet, probably older children.
The Fairfax County Animal Shelter has rabbits available for adoption. Stop by and visit available bunnies in the small animal room today. For information on the care of rabbits, visit the Quiet Ones blog and the House Rabbit Society website.
Thank you for joining us for the McLean Community Center's virtual McLean Pet Fest. We'd like to thank all of our participating exhibitors for helping to make this virtual event a success. And we'd also like to thank you, our viewers, for tuning in to watch. The McLean Community Center provides a sense of community for all residents of Small District 1A Drainsville by offering programs, assisting community organizations, and furnishing facilities for civic, cultural, educational, recreational, and social activities. We're located at 1234 Ingleside Avenue in McLean. Or you can give us a call at 703-790-0123. You can also send us an email to events@mcleancenter.org. My name is Brian Ashby, and we hope to see you next year in person.